Check 1 2 1 2 3. Check check check.
Check check 1 2. Testing. Hey Jimmy, what's up? How you doing? Check 1 2 3 4. It's about 6:52, and the JM King George kickoff should be coming up in about 8 minutes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And hello, JM football fans, and welcome to King George, Virginia for tonight's Battlefield District contest between the King George Foxes and your James Monroe Yellow Jackets. Welcome to the Union Bank and Trust pregame show, Fredericksburg's leader in banking and financial solution. I'm Herman K. alongside Bob Blackburn for tonight's game. Both teams, Bob, struggling at the halfway point of the season, but tonight is an opportunity for a team to get right and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, this is not typical of James Monroe, and I'm hoping tonight is the night where all things change for them.
We talked about it being the halfway of the season. Can you believe it?
Yeah, time flies when you're having a good time.
That's right. We've already played 5 games on this young season. Yellow Jackets are in the midst of a 3-game losing streak since their only win of the season against Charlottesville. JM has suffered 3 straight defeats at the hands of undefeated Mountain View and improved Petersburg and Chancellor. Last week against the Chargers, James Monroe battled back from an early 13-0 deficit to take a 14-13 lead. Zach Davis threw 4 touchdown passes, but timely turnovers, a spotty defense, and some bad luck gave the Jackets a 36-29 setback. Bob, last week, Yellow Jackets seem to be a little bit snake bitten this time of the season.
Yeah, and you know when they play at home, it disappoints the people that have come to know them for playing excellent football.
Well, while leading the area in passing, James Monroe's offense lacks a true running game to give them balance, and the JM defense is struggling right now to make consistent stops. Coach Serby and his staff have been working hard to figure out the magic portion to get a win for the Yellow Jackets. Tonight's game is once again a crucial and critical game against a 4A opponent. A win here will go a long way in deciding the Jackets' playoff future. Getting a win tonight going into the bye week would be very good for the psyche of this young James Monroe High School football club. So a lot of stuff at stake here tonight. We remember last year, Bob, where the Yellow Jackets got off to a bad start and put together some wins. We don't want to say deja vu all over again, but the Yellow Jackets, they backed into the playoffs last year, but ended up with a 7-7 record.
Yeah, they got all the way to the regional finals, and that was beautiful.
So we certainly hope this year's team can catch the same bug they had last year and put together some wins so that they can look at that second season. King George comes into tonight's game on the heels of a win, #1 in the Vern Lunford era. The Foxes have played a tough schedule with Tuscarora, Brook Point, Louise, and Stafford all in the first 4 weeks of this early season. The first-year coach picked up his first win last week with a 34-15 win over Caroline. We're talking about Battlefield District action now. We're right in the heart of the Battlefield District, Bob. King George, we got some key, crucial and critical games coming up for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, it's do or die. You look down the schedule. It's going to be really tough. You're talking about Eastern View's there, Culpeper's still there.
Yes.
And so it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough.
We'll talk about the state standings too when it comes to points and that type of thing. Current Virginia High School League power ratings, Region 3B. We'll talk about that a little bit later. At #1 is Thomas Jefferson with a 3-1 mark. No undefeated teams in that Region 3B. So the Yellow Jackets, Bob, if the back door is left open again this year,
yeah,
that's back in.
There we go. And we'll take it. And if you have a second season, you have a successful season.
Well, the King George Foxes and their wing T offense, Sammy Della Grande controls the offense from his quarterback position. Fullback Javon Campbell gets the bulk of the carries, while Matthew Redkay is a solid runner from his wingback position. Here we go. And it's going to be King George kicking off to the Yellow Jackets. Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir. And the Jackets got that ball out to the about the. Well, where is it going with the football? Okay, about the 31-yard line.
Yeah.
So not too bad a return.
Not bad field position for James Monroe. And we'd like to welcome all of you that's listening and watching tonight on Cox Channel 83 and Verizon Channel 41, regionalwebtv.com. Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Zach Davis, the quarterback, man in motion, and that's going to be a counter. He's going to be pulled down in the backfield. Number 25 for the Yellow Jackets, and that's Deontay Carey. Lost a couple of yards, Bob.
Yeah, I think we're desperate to get a running game going again. Last week we didn't really have a running game, and so that's why I think he tried Curry, but wow, did they smell that one.
Well, they're going to check him out early with the run game, but a loss of 2 yards on that first down is going to force the Yellow Jackets to throw the ball here on second down. Second and 12 yards to go. Zach Davis fumbles the football, picks it up, he's going to run with it, and he's going to be pulled down. A flag coming in. Probable holding call against the Yellow Jackets.
There's nothing like your quarterback scrambling in the backfield to make a lineman go, oops, I'm going to go over here and try to protect him anyway.
Well, loss of yards on that play, so King George faced with a choice here. So the holding call will be declined. They'll take the loss, and that's going to push the Yellow Jackets back inside their 20 to about the 18-yard line, where it will be third down and 23 yards to go. 11-10 to go in this opening quarter. Yellow Jackets digging a hole early, Bob.
Yeah, and that's not good.
Zach Davis, 4 wideouts. They're going to throw. He's looking downfield. A lot of running room in the middle. And he spins out across the 25 to about the 29-yard line. So the Yellow Jackets opening series, nothing.
Well, they start off with the run and play, and that didn't work. He got tackled in his tracks, and then penalties, whatever. And so the opening drive is history.
Yep. So now they're faced with a 4th and 12 yards to go. Punter standing back at his 15-yard line. And now the Foxes taking a timeout. Timeout, 10:23 to go early in this first quarter here at King George High School. No score. Back after this. Welcome back to King George High School. That timeout was taken by the Foxes, wasn't it, Bob?
Yeah, and I can't believe they burned one this early, but
yep.
They must have had some sort of confusion that they didn't want to deal with.
4th down, punting down here. Punter gets it off the side of a foot. Not a good punt. It's going to roll out of bounds. Well, it did not. That thing took a curve.
Yeah, and it took a nice one to get across the 50-yard line there.
So Fox's excellent field position here to open up this football game. Offensively, the Foxes will have it 1st and 10 yards to go at their 49-yard line. You can hear all the noise in the stadium. Tonight it's homecoming for King George.
Wow, they're brave to pick JM.
That's right. That's what I was thinking, Bob. Why would you pick a team that has a history of winning games against you? 1st and 10 yards to go for the Foxes. Man in motion to the far side. Quarterback swing pass. It was actually a lateral and might have picked up a yard or two in a scramble over there. I thought that ball came out. That was a lateral and not a pass because the quarterback was in front of that receiver.
Yeah, and you drop the ball and it's trouble.
So something we didn't see, Bob, is a holding call. See who that's going to be against. It's King George with the penalty.
Okay, we'll take that and push him back a little bit.
So the Foxes come out the gate. They're not doing much better than the Yellow Jackets, are they?
No, and they're in a situation now where have we had a pick six this season yet?
I think we had one.
Had one? Okay.
Yeah, I think
right.
one. Foxes first and 20 yards to go from that 39-yard line. You got 3 wideouts. It's a wing T type formation. They're going to run it up the middle. No gain. Might have given them a yard on that run up the middle. Up to the 40-yard line. Second down and 19 yards to go for King George.
Yeah, keep him in the hole. Let's see if this quarterback can throw, and that'll tell us something.
Aiden Ryan, pretty good-looking receiver and cornerback, boss.
He's an athlete. He really is.
Second and 19 yards to go for the Foxes. Quarterback standing at his 25. Gets the snap and the handoff, and he's going to be bundled. Ball comes out to Yellow Jackets. I think they might have it.
It looked like to me they did.
Yes. Yellow Jackets followed up with a fumble recovery. That running back was hit hard, Bob, and that ball was separated, and an alert JM player fell on it. So big break the Yellow Jackets need in this opening quarter.
I like the D looks like they're inspired tonight.
Yes.
I like that.
Particularly after that fumble recovery, the big play, you could see all of the defensive players celebrating what had just happened. Yellow Jackets break huddle. 4 wideouts, 2 to the far, 2 to the near. Zach Davis, the quarterback. Zach gets the snap from the center, and it's a handoff and a run into the secondary. Pulled down inside the 30. Boy, he had one tackler. He would have been gone.
That looks like the Curry we saw at the beginning of the season, and I like to see that because JM does need a running game.
Deontay Carey, 5'10", 229, a 10th grader. And that time he almost broke it for a long touchdown run. He moved the chain on the far side of the field. Yellow Jackets picking up a first down. First and 10 yards to go at the King George 28. Swing pass in the flat. And that's Aiden Ryan. Ryan tried to turn a corner. Aiden could have come back to the inside. He broke to the outside and picked up about 3-4 yards on that reception.
Yeah, I saw he had a blocker out there, and the blocker was taking him to the outside, and he chose the outside, so didn't get as many as I thought he would.
Yes. So second, we'll say 7 yards to go. Ball sitting right on the 25-yard line. Yellow Jackets, everybody bunched in there tight, probable running play. And that's going to be Zach looking to throw the football. He was hit just as he released the football. It falls incomplete, stopping the clock with 7:57 to go. What is quarters flying by, isn't it?
Wow, it is.
Yeah, 2 possessions by James Monroe, 1 by King George, and it's less than 8 minutes to go.
Well, are we having a good time? Because
yes.
Time flies, we're having a good time, right?
We're having a great time.
All right.
If the Yellow Jackets score here, we'll have even better time.
Be high-five time.
Yeah, that's right.
Defensive holding against King George.
So, penalty against the King George Foxes was, I don't know.
Wow, it's a long one, and it's going to be a first down.
First down for the Yellow Jackets at the King George 15-yard line. So, pretty much like James Monroe, Bob, they're subject to making mistakes. You got a receiver split to the far side of the field. That's Turner White. 3 trips to the near side. Zach fakes it and is going to run it. Nobody out there. Let's see, do we get a block? Down to about the 1-yard line. No laundry on the field, so that play will stand. Boy, they fooled everybody.
And they really did. That was good deception. And
yes.
What is Zach 6'6"?
Yeah.
he needed to do a little stretch in there.
So he comes up a yard shy of getting into the end zone. I would reward Curry here.
I would too.
Yep, down inside in the red zone. Here we go. First and goal for James Monroe at the King George 2-yard line. Under center, Zach turns, hands it off to Curry. He's going to be pulled down for a loss. Back outside the 3-yard line. You got to use those big guys in the middle and run the ball straight ahead, Bob, I would think.
I agree. And
kind of veered to the outside on that run. And that King George defense caught up with him.
Yeah, that right side, every time they seem to have tried the right side, it hasn't worked for them. So they'll learn after a while where they can go.
Second and goal from the 3. Zach looking, and it's going to be with the catch. Did he get in? Yes.
Touchdown. That man, he took that ball away from that defender.
3-yard touchdown reception. That's Turner White. Turner at 5'8", Bob. He went up high to get that football. The defender was draped all over him.
He did a nice job with that because the man was covering him.
Yes.
And he ran up and took it.
Extra point attempt here by the Yellow Jackets. Here's your snap to hold. The kick, it is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 6:49 to go in this opening quarter. Our score, it's James Monroe 7, Foxes nothing. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to King George. The Yellow Jackets with the fumble recovery. Took it right down the field, Bob, and punched it in. Haven't seen that in a while.
No, and that's good. When you get a break like that, you need to take advantage of it.
Yes. And I would think this, other than the Charlottesville game, first time the Yellow Jackets have scored first.
Yeah, and we talked about this team usually likes to score first,
yeah,
and they build on it.
So the Yellow Jackets up by 7, set to kick off here for James Monroe. Here's your kick, end-over-end kick taken at the 12. Fumbles the football, picks it up, and he's going to be slammed hard. Boy, that was like hitting a blocking sled.
No kidding. And 4, 5 jam players were driving. And,
yeah, they're fired up.
Yep, that's good. And that field looks wet. Does it look wet to you, or is it something?
You're absolutely correct, and I think that was the same observation we had the last time we were here.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of shiny looking or
yeah,
something.
It really is. I don't know whether...
Maybe it's worn. I don't know.
Huh. It may be, and it may be shinier than the other part.
You know, at the house, when you have that carpet that's beginning to go a little bit bad, that shiny part.
Yeah, I know that pretty good.
First and 10 for the Foxes at their 20-yard line. Man in motion to the far side, handoff, and they run into a host of JM tacklers in the middle of that defensive front. Gain of about 2-3 yards on that run.
You know, over the course of the season, it looks like we've been outsized so often.
Yeah.
And this looks like a more of an even match. In fact,
yes,
JM looks a little bigger than they do. So
you're absolutely King George. Looking at the roster, Bob, can't match up weight-wise, man-to-man with the JM bulk. Second and 8 yards to go. And a nice hole, but it closed quickly, and the Yellow Jackets swarm to the football.
I like the looks of the D tonight.
Yes. The holes are there, but the pursuit by the Yellow Jackets they're getting to the hole and clogging that stuff up, and thus minimal gains by this King George offense. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Quarterback, all of the plays are coming from the King George coach. You know, they're all standing there gazing toward the coach.
That has to be really smooth, or it's going to really mess the quarterback up.
Yes. 3rd and 3. You had 2 men in motion. That's going to be it. Nope. Nice gain, but all for nothing. That's going to come back. He had 2 men in motion. Illegal motion penalty against King George.
Yeah, you think about if those 2 guys had run right into each other.
Yeah.
How embarrassing that would have been.
$5:50, make it $5:19 to go in this opening quarter here at King George High School. Penalty against the Foxes. Boy, they picked up a number of penalties in this first quarter. Still 5 minutes to go. Yellow Jackets out in front, 7-0. 3rd down and about 8 yards to go for King George. Quarterback under center. Turns, rolling out, looking to his right, has a man out there and a good clean hit.
I think he's a little bit short, Herman.
I think they might give it to him, Bob.
You think? Let's see where the spot is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they're spotting it, you're right, Herman. Those chains are going to move.
They're going to say 1st down. But that was a good open field tackle and a great call by King George coach, Bob. There was nobody out there with that little swing pass.
Yeah, it looks like he throws a good short ball, but I haven't seen him go downfield yet.
1st and 10 for King George. And it's the run up the middle, running hard into the JM secondary. Certainly hope these linemen don't get into confidence, Bob, because I was talking about the huge holes that were there earlier. And if these guys should continue to open up some holes and run against this JM defense, they'll certainly gain a lot of confidence.
Yeah, they need a break here to throw them back a few yards here. Let's see.
2nd and short facing the Foxes at their 39-yard line. And there's a run again off tackle on the right side. And another first down. Boom, ball control drive here by King George.
Yeah, it looks like they're finding a little bit of rhythm here.
Yeah.
And,
so 1st and 10 yards to go for King George. 4 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Foxes, man in motion. It's going to be a run around the right side. And kind of a counter play they're running up. I mean, you got a wing back there. And these guys seem to, that's Javon Campbell. This is the guy that gets the bulk of the carries in that King George backfield.
Yeah, they're starting to establish a bit of a rhythm here, and if JM can come up big and get them in a 3rd down situation, that would be good.
This guy carried the ball for over 300 yards last Friday. And a great run again by King George, and that will be another Fox's 1st down. Well,
got to break that rhythm up.
Yeah, they're putting together a great drive here. Drive started back at what, the 19-yard line?
Yeah, they were pretty deep when they started out, and were making a few mistakes, but then they put together a good-looking drive now.
1st and 10 for the Foxes at James Monroe's 46-yard line. Got a receiver to the near side of the field, man in motion. He gets the call, trying to turn the corner, and he does, into the secondary and pushed out of bounds. No containment, but it was excellent blocking by King George on the outside to spring that running back for a huge gain.
Yeah, and he had good speed, got around that corner really good.
Yes.
That's Woolridge at safety, and he's the one that gave him a shove out of bounds.
Yeah. So the Foxes putting together a drive, and most of it has been on the ground. Great running game here by King George. First and 10 yards to go for the Foxes at the James Monroe 25-yard line. Quarterback sends a man in motion, spins, looking to throw the football, throws it down to the end zone with the catch. Yes. Right. Yeah. What a great fake. Nice reception.
Catch the number on that guy.
Number 25, Javon Campbell, Bob.
Okay.
6'1", 200-pounder with the reception and the touchdown. Foxes set for the extra point here. Low snap, and they get it up. It is good. What a drive by the King George Foxes, getting the ball at that 19-yard line. Drove it all the way down the field. Run, run, run. 2 passes, and they get on the scoreboard. 2:43 to go in this opening quarter. 7-7 tie from King George. Welcome back to King George High School. 26-yard touchdown reception, putting the Foxes on the board. Short kick taken by one of the upbacks. That's number 44 on return. Jared Kennard, 6'2", 235 senior. And a flag on the play might be, whenever you have kickoffs, Bob, is usually against the receive team.
Yep. Holding, that's gonna set them back.
So the Yellow Jackets with the penalty on the return, and that's going to push them back inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. So Javon Campbell, he's the workhorse in that King George backfield. Here we go, 1st and 10 for James Monroe at their 23-yard line. Trips to the far side of the field. Zach Davis fakes a handoff, gives it off to number 25. He's popping through, cuts it back inside, and picks up 12 yards.
That's the way you got to do it. That's Curry. He's doing a good job tonight already.
Boy, you see him plant that foot in the ground and cut back to the inside, Bob.
I love that, and we've seen him do that. And last week, we would love to have seen it, but it just didn't happen last week.
Well, this is a perfect surface for a running back like Curry. Artificial surface here at King George. Yellow Jackets with the first down, 1st and 10 at their 38-yard line. Zach Davis, 4 wideouts, coming across the middle, and he missed it. It's going to be picked off by King George. Right in the hands of the receiver. If he had caught that ball, he would have been gone, but it went off his fingertips into the hands of a King George player. So the Foxes get the turnover at their own 49-yard line.
Yeah, the JM receiver broke into the open and just didn't connect.
It was a wide open crossing pattern across the middle. They say whenever you can get your hands on it, you should catch it.
Yep.
For college and pros.
Yeah. And sometimes just one hand's enough.
That's right.
Depends on how much stickum you got on those gloves.
1st and 10 for King George. Run around the right side. Blockers out in front. And that's going to be about a 10, 11-yard gallop down to the James Monroe 40-yard line. speed in that backfield too.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some blocking out there on the ends.
Zion White, senior, 6-footer, 175 pounds, leading the blockers out on the edge as they turn that corner. Number 3 checking in to the lineup. Redkay, Matt Redkay, 5'9", 175. Second and a yard to go for King George at the James Monroe 43-yard line. Quarterback rolling out with the football. Has a man in the flat. He tried a one-handed bob and unable to come up with the catch. Got a little cute that time.
Yeah, might have to go over and get some more stickum.
Minute 22. Clock stopped after that incomplete pass. Kind of surprising to see them throw the ball as well as they've been running it. Now they're faced with a 3rd down. 2-down situation here, Bob. If they don't make it here, they'll certainly go for it on 4th down. Yeah, wouldn't you think?
I would. I would if I were King George. Why stop the momentum?
Number 5, the quarterback, Del Grande. And a run close to that 1st down marker. Didn't give him much. Gonna be shy.
It might bring out the sticks, or okay, gave him a decent spot. So
Sammy Del Grande, the quarterback, 6'2", 175 pounds. They're going to go for it. Yellow Jackets didn't move. No flag. He didn't move. He didn't break the plane. It was movement by James Monroe. Now they're going to take a timeout. Wise move there for the King George.
Right, because the time clock was ticking.
Plus, you know, he almost drew him offside. We'll keep it right here with 49 seconds to go in this 1st quarter. So let's see. They've got 4th and 1. What do you do here, Coach?
That's quarterback sneak territory there.
Okay. That way you don't risk a handoff, a fumble.
Yeah, anything that goes wide, you know, has a chance of losing yardage. Yep. It has to be straightforward, and they've had success off the right side, but I think that quarterback probably should just go ahead and.
That's a mathematical situation we're just talking about the straight line from point A to point B, right?
Don't ask me a math question.
And guess what? I'm going to leave it alone too.
Okay. Oh, my math teachers will tell you something on me.
4th down. Your mother didn't teach math, did she?
No, she was a Spanish teacher.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. 4th and a yard, and they've got the yard.
Yeah.
He was pushed back, but his forward progress out to the 40-yard line. They are signaling 1st down for King George. So as soon as they set the chain on the far side, the clock will begin.
Yeah, JM needs a break here. Needs to come up with a stop and get that ball back.
Yes. 1st and 10 yards to go. Clock running down here with 30 seconds to go. Got time for one play here before time expires to end this 1st. You see the quarterback
lined up behind the guard.
Yes. That's going to be a run cut back to the inside. Number 25 on the carry, Javon Campbell, 6'1", 200-pounder.
Yeah, it's almost like the quarterback was in motion there. You know?
That was funny. You can hear folks in the crowd laughing a little bit.
Yeah, wrong rear there.
Yeah. In the 1 here at King George High School. We're deadlocked at 7. Bob and I will be back after this. Welcome back to King George High School in the one quarter play and a pretty evenly matched first quarter.
Yeah, I think the Jackets made some big D plays in the first couple of drives, and now King George seems to have settled down and gotten into a decent running game.
Both teams had major turnovers in that first quarter, resulting in points, and that's where we are, tied at 7. Yellow Jackets defense trying to stop this running attack by King George. Second down, and about 6 yards to go. We got a receiver split wide to the near side of the field. Wing T formation. And as a pitch and a run
nice
and
tackle.
A good hit. Number 42 saying, not my way. Dana Reynolds, 5'10", 220 senior ball.
Yeah, that's just what the Jackets needed is a nice drop in the backfield. That did it.
Reynolds sniffed out to play, made the hit, loss of some yards, setting up a 3rd and 11 for King George at the James Monroe 41-yard line. Just getting underway here in the second quarter, 11:28 to go. A man split to the far side of the field. Wing formation for the Foxes. Quarterback. And a double reverse and a nice hit, and the ball comes out. And the Yellow Jackets failed to get it. You see, that was a double reverse.
Yeah, that made me cross-eyed. Think about it.
So the Yellow Jackets hold on defense, forcing King George to punt the ball here. 4th and 12 facing the Foxes. So the Yellow Jackets stepped it up defensively, Bob.
Yeah, big D stand there, and I don't know what about this punt, but looks like to me the Jackets may set up a wall here and go with it.
Got Ryan back to Aiden Ryan, the return man for the Yellow Jackets, standing back right around his 10-yard line, awaits the punt here. It's a high snap. Quarterback's going to throw it. They fake it. And the Yellow Jackets, yes, no horse collar tackle either. Number 4 sniffed it out. Joe Hardy coming up with the big defensive play. So the fake on 4th down backfired on the Foxes.
Yeah, and the problem was they lost some yardage there.
Yes.
And, I don't know if that mistake will come back and haunt them, but if I was JM, I would make them pay right now.
Right on this play, I'd go up top.
Okay.
You got 4 wideouts, 3 to the far side of the field, 1 to the near. Zach fakes the handoff, pass across the middle with the catch down inside the 40. Number 7 for the Yellow Jackets, Aiden Ryan, with an acrobatic catch as he gets the first down to the King George 38-yard line. What a catch.
Yeah, no kidding. And he had something on that ball as well.
So the Yellow Jackets chipping away at that King George secondary. We talked about it, Bob, 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. We'll talk about that secondary of King George after this play. Yellow Jackets keeping it on the ground, and that's Curry on a carry. Got to keep him honest. You got to run it a little bit.
You do, and I was glad to see him do that.
Yes. We talked about it in the pregame, the height difference in that King George secondary. And it makes a difference when you got some of these tall receivers for James Monroe that outmatched them, and all you got to do is throw it up in the air. These guys can go and get it.
Yeah. So let's see what they come with on this one.
Second, and a run again for the Yellow Jackets, and nothing. Well, they ran it there on second down, Bob. You would have thought they might put it in the air, but the thinking behind the strategy behind the coaches is that they're deep into their territory at the 34. If we don't make it on this passing down, third down, we can certainly go for it on fourth down.
Yeah, I think they're thinking ahead for that, yeah.
4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. Zach Davis, the quarterback, the senior. Gets the snap, looking, passes and it's over the head and almost intercepted. You had 4 defenders around that one receiver. Not a good choice.
No, and I see some guys that were going down the sidelines that may have been better targets.
So 4th and 6 facing the Yellow Jackets. Zach to the sideline getting a play from Eddie Haynes, the offensive coordinator. Good to have Eddie back. Been on hiatus for a while.
Okay.
You got a bunch of them that came back.
Yeah, it was like homecoming year.
Yep. Trips to the far side of the field. Zach fakes a handoff in the middle with the catch and the first down. I've often said, Bob, Aiden Ryan coming up with the reception. Takes a real man to catch him in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, you can check your courage right there.
Right. So the Yellow Jackets with the catch. That's Ryan with the catch. Yellow Jackets with the first down. Methodical drive here, a little run, pass here and there. Now we're getting a timeout. Fox is taking a timeout, and we'll keep it right here, Bob. You know, we were talking about in our pregame show the current Virginia High School League Power ratings, Region 3B. Thomas Jefferson at number 1, 3-1 record. Culpeper at number 2 with a 2-3. I mean, you look at this, Bob. Yellow Jackets in 6th spot, but they're only 2 wins away from Thomas Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's a log jam.
Yeah, and it's early, but I don't think anybody's breaking out of the pack here.
And we love to play those Richmond schools, don't
sure,
we? We do well against them.
Yeah, I don't know that we've ever lost it.
All except what's the school we go down every year and we lose to?
Are you talking about the Hopewell team?
Hopewell.
Okay.
Yeah. First and 10 yards to go. That's Zach again pulling the string, dips his way into the end zone. Near the end zone. It's going to be. My goodness.
They ganged up on him over there, didn't they?
Did not get into the end zone, but what a nifty run by Zach Davis getting the ball down to the 2-yard line. That's the play. Did he score? No, he had almost the identical play, Bob, because the last time he ran it, he got down to the 1. This time he gets down to the 2. So he's got to do a better job the next time, right?
Yeah, right. Hey, pull your head, bull your neck a little bit.
That's right. Stretch it out a little bit more there, Zach. First and goal for the Yellow Jackets at the King George 2-yard line. Quarterback, Zach calls his number, and he slips into the end zone. Touchdown. We'll say a 2-yard touchdown run by Zach Davis. Was a quarterback, am I correct?
I think it was a single digit, and I think he's
with 9.
Okay.
So Davis getting the 2-yard touchdown run. Well, we need to say 2-yard plunge.
Yeah.
Extra point, high snap. He gets it down. The kick is up. And it is good. This guy's automatic.
I haven't seen him miss anything yet.
Nope. So timeout on the field. 8:16 to go in the second quarter. James Monroe 14. And the Foxes 7 back after this. We're back here at King George High School, homecoming for the Foxes tonight. So that means
long halftime.
Long halftime tonight. So the Yellow Jackets regain the lead here with a 14-7 advantage. Always great to be on the road with my good friend here in the press box, Dr. Bob Blackburn.
Hey, Dr. Griffin, I appreciate the ride down.
You're welcome. Anytime. Yellow Jackets set to kick off to King George. Good high kick in over in, taking that to 12. And
nice tackle.
It's going to end at the 28. And that was, don't see a number 10 on there. In the background, you can hear the voice of the legendary Thomas Hayden.
Yes, indeed. JM's own.
Yep. Doing the PA announcing here at, what a good fella.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's a friendly fella, and he doesn't do a bad job. And I can say that he does pick up some on the enthusiasm and gives the Foxes all he's got.
You can never accuse Tommy of not being excited.
There you go.
1st and 10 for King George, man in motion. And a handoff on a low counter play that picks up about 11 yards. Got to give this King George Foxes offensive line credit, Bob.
Yeah, they're starting to blow out now.
And you were talking about it earlier, the size difference. They're moving the Yellow Jackets around on defense. 1st and 10 yards to go. Foxes at the 37. Quarterback. And a quick hitter up the middle. He was hit initially in the backfield, but he slipped away. That's Golden. Deshae Golden on the carry. 5'10", 190 running back.
Yeah, these running backs have made some nice games.
Yes. 2nd, 3 yards to go for the Foxes at their 44-yard line. Yellow Jackets digging in on defense. That's going to be a run right into number 42, who stayed home that time. That was Dana Reynolds. And we talked about it before. Here's a guy that's always around football, Reynolds.
Yeah, the last several games we've called his name a lot, and
yes.
He's got a nose for that football.
And I'm gonna do the defense here when I get a chance, and Dr. Blackburn, you can do the offense.
All righty.
Here we go, 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Big 3rd down play here for King George at the 44-yard line. Quarterback turns, handoff, and a great tackle. Great penetration by number 8, Jack Hardy, Bob.
Yeah.
Who penetrated, got into the backfield and tripped him up. No gain on that play, setting up a 4th down. 3 yards to go. Fox is going to go for it unless they try to pull the Yellow Jackets off sides. Don't know who took that timeout. King George taking another one. They got to be out of timeout spot.
Yeah, that had to be their 3rd.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to know if they're going to punt.
The dangerous Aiden Ryan back deep for the Yellow Jackets. Punter gets the snap.
He does it.
And he kicks it away from Ryan. And it's going to bounce, take a Fox's bounce. Finally touched at the James Monroe 21.5-yard line. They kind of angled that thing out. I wouldn't kick it at Aiden either.
No kidding. That's asking for it if you do that.
So we're going to Yellow Jackets. Bob, you can talk about the offense a little bit.
All right, let me see if we can roll out the guys here. Let's see, number 9, the quarterback, Zach Davis. He's a senior. Number 25, Deontay Curry is a running back, and he's a sophomore. Number 2 is Brandon Woolridge. He's a wide receiver. He's a senior.
Aiden Ryan on the carry. I hate to interrupt you, Bob.
Not a problem.
That's about a 9 or 10 yard gain.
And let's see if I come up on who did it. Okay. Let's see. Number 5 is Turner White. He's a wide receiver and senior. And number 7, of course, we know is Aiden Ryan, wide receiver and a sophomore. So we'll come back to that when we get a chance.
Second and about a foot to go for the Yellow Jackets. D-Core, 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Yellow Jackets keep it on the ground. First down and more, out across the 40 to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like the Jacket running game is all of a sudden caught fire here.
But I'll tell you what they did on that particular play, Bob. It was second down and short. They put 3 receivers, D-Cores, to the near side of the field, kind of loosened up that line of scrimmage a little bit, and they ran right at that mix-up.
Yeah, and the Jacket receivers deserve the respect, so they spread them out.
First and 10 for the Yellow Jackets, 3 receivers, and that's going to be number 9, Zach Davis on the run. And he loses about 3 yards.
That's one of those times when you, the guy that you fake to looks like he might have been the guy he should have given it to.
How many times did that happen to you before, Bob?
Oh, a million, of course.
As a quarterback.
A million times.
So second, 12 yards to go. Ball at the JM 40-yard line. 4:39 to go in this first half. Yellow Jackets up 14-7 over the King George Foxes. 3 receivers to the near side of the field, 1 to the far. Zach Davis looking, pumps, throws a pass, and it's intended for Aiden Ryan. Sometimes they are double covering Aiden, and you can't sometimes throw into traffic.
Yeah, not a well-designed play that time.
Nope. If he's not open, eat it.
That's one of those things. It's almost a split decision, and he threw a nice ball, but it was just too deep, and he was covered.
He throws a great football. Sometimes, he's a senior. First and I'm going to leave it right at that. 14-7, James Monroe. Foxes with the ball at the 35-yard line. That's that counter again. And into the secondary 11-yard gallop around the left side. Inside reverse, I guess you could call that. They picked up 11 yards on that run. This is why this guy picked up so much yardage in the last game that they played.
Yeah, and he looks like he's getting a little more zip here.
He's warming up. First and 10 for the King George Foxes. Ball at their 48-yard line. They trail by 7. 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Foxes with the football. Straight handoff into JM territory down to the 45-yard line. Nothing fancy here. That was just straight ahead rushing the football.
Yeah, they don't look like they're in a huge hurry, but they're using the clock well.
Second and 2 yards to go. Foxes keep it on the ground into the secondary, and a hard collision, but not until they picked up about 8-9 yards on that run. When you look at this offense, it mirrors Portland's. It's
a lot of deception and good running.
Yes. They moved the chain on the far side of the field, and the discipline defensively for the Yellow Jackets, you got to remember your assignments, and you got to stay home.
Stay home, yep.
First and 10, the James Monroe 36-yard line. Foxes. And that's going to be a handoff and a run around the... He's picking up 7-8 yards before he gets contact.
Yeah, if they don't make a mistake, they got a good drive going.
Yes. And the last time they put together a drive like this, they ended up with a pass reception in the end zone for a touchdown. So the Foxes putting together a nice looking drive here. Second down and 4 yards to go with 2:38 to go in this first half. Yellow Jackets, I put in 8 in the box, Bob. Second, 5 yards to go. And that's going to be a nice tackle on the far side for the Yellow Jackets. That number 57 for James Monroe. Jonathan Washington coming up to make the hit. 6-footer, 224 senior. Lost us some yards on that play.
Yeah, that's good when one guy just steps up there and makes a good play, then the rest are inspired, and
yes,
maybe they'll put a stop on this.
3rd and 7 yards to go for King George. Got a receiver to the near side of the field. Wing T formation. Quarterback under center, turns in a double reverse, and he gets away. Missing tackles, but still a little bit shy. Let's see the spot here, Bob. That might be enough. It is a first down. My goodness, a couple of missed tackles.
That was a bad break for Sam. Bad break.
You got to stay home defensively, because all that faking and stuff will get you out of position and create a huge hole.
Yep.
1st and 10 yards to go. Foxes at the JM 25-yard line. Quarterback turns, hands it off, run around the left side, and it could have been a holding or block in the back, but the official did not make the call.
They looks like he made little or no gain on that.
Yeah. 2nd and 10 for King George. 55 seconds to go. I mean, I don't know how many timeouts they have, Bob. I don't think so. They've taken a lot of time off the clock. 2nd, 10 yards to go. Let's see if they pass the ball here on 2nd down. Quarterback looking downfield, throws a pass in the corner of the end zone, and too long, incomplete. That'll stop the clock. 31 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they never would have done that if they had time left on the on the clock. Now they're in a little bit of a hurry, and the Jackets need to watch out, because they're going to have to throw it down the field.
Yep. Well, they're going to have to go into the end zone, because otherwise, if they're stopped in the field of play, time could run off. So he got 2 downs here. 3rd and 10 yards to go at the JM 25-yard line. Yellow Jackets going to have to put pressure on the quarterback. Man in motion, and quarterback trying to run the ball. He's going to be pushed back. Nice defensive play. Number 88, Thomas Williams, in on the stop.
I believe the clock is going to run out, Herman.
Yeah. The Yellow Jackets on 4th down, 14. I don't know why they stopped the clock. Why did they stop the clock?
I don't know, but they got to get it going.
They're going to go for a field goal, a 45-yard field goal here. Here's your kick. It's up, and it is short. No good, and no time left on the clock. 45-yard field goal in high school football.
That would have been something.
We've seen it all. Halftime here at King George High School. Our score, it's James Monroe 14, Foxes 7. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Hang around. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to King George High School. We expect to have a long halftime tonight. It is homecoming here for the King George Foxes, and probably one of the bigger bands we've seen this year.
And they do, and you know, when they start calling them like the Royal Regiment or whatever, you know,
you got to look out now.
Yeah, they've done a good job of getting kids to come out.
Well, they've got, you know how you judge bands by the number of bass horn players they have.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They've got 3. So an exciting first half of football. I hate to get away from the band, but we are here for this football game. 14-7 James Monroe. And Bob, what's your assessment of what happened and went on in the first half?
You know, it's like both teams like poking at each other, and ever so often, I mean, the Jackets put together a bend but don't break type defense, and luckily they did, because that's how they held on to the 7-point lead here. And I don't know, the Jackets going to have to step up and put a stop to the King George running game. But let's see.
As a coach, Bob, how do you feel at half from what your team has done in the first half of tonight's ball game? Even though King George has moved the ball between the 40s, they've only allowed 7 points in the first half, so you got to be happy about that. Yeah,
you do, and I think we'll see some changes. I know, because it looks like to me King George is a 3-quarter running team.
Yeah,
and they have good deception in the backfield and good running backs. So it's time now to take that as a trend and to do something about it.
Yellow Jackets, they can pass on this King George secondary.
Yeah,
and I want to see them throw the ball more and deep in this second half. They might give up another 1 or 2 touchdowns to King George, but you got to outscore this team.
Yeah.
I think if they come out and they'll be kicking off to King George to open up the second half.
That's right. Yeah.
And they've got to deny them from scoring to open up the second half, and then they've got to put points on the board, because I don't know how long they can hold out defensively against this tough running game the Foxes have.
Yeah, it's definitely a battle royale here going. So we'll see. Anyway, the Jackets and the Foxes traded scores in the first half. JM scoring first at 6:49 on a 3-yard TD pass from Davis to Turner White. Point after was good. The JM Jackets took a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. King George answered back at 2:43 on Javon Campbell's score of 26 yards on a TD pass. The point after was good, and the score tied at the end of the first quarter, 7-7. It was all JM in the, I can't say all JM, but JM did score in the second quarter, and they were the only team to score. At 8:16, Davis scored on a 2-yard plunge. Point after was good, and James Monroe took a 14-7 lead into the locker room.
You know, Bob, and the Yellow Jackets leading by 7, and they did okay, but that offense still really didn't get in gear. You know, I mean, we saw a little taste of Curry here and Zach throwing the football.
Right.
And we want to thank our friend Steve Franzello for supplying us with information. And Bob, you can pass it along.
Okay, let's see here. I always want to thank Steve Franzello of the Freelance Star. He's a good friend and a very good writer. Okay, let's see. JM's stats first. In first downs, he had 8 first downs. As far as rushing is concerned, Curry has taken 11 handoffs for 36 yards. Davis has 6 carries for 32 yards and 1 TD. Passing, Davis is 4 for 6 and 2 interceptions. That's notable for him. Anyway, he has 36 yards and a TD pass. For King George, they have 10 first downs, and as far as rushing is concerned, Golden has 11 for 62 yards. And as far as passing is concerned, Del Grande is 2 for 4 with no interceptions and 32 yards. So kind of even stats, and we'll see how that second half goes. Who wants this game?
And the most important stat on the scoreboard. Yellow Jackets up by 7, 14-7 our score, and we got some other stuff we're going to talk about. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back to King George High School. It's just the two of us here in the press box in this room. We like it here. This is nice, and they have an air conditioner. And all that. And of course, we got the windows open, and the air is just blowing behind us. Crazy two guys.
It's okay. We seem to keep it right at 72 degrees, don't we?
That's right. What you got there?
I got last week's scores, and some interesting ones, yes. Eastern View and Cortland. Eastern View 42, Cortland 13. Culpeper 21, Spotsylvania 10. Colonial Forge 35, Riverbend 0. Stonewall Jackson 21, Brook Point 17. Massaponax 44, North Stafford 7. That was a surprising big win. Mountain View 30 and Stafford 7. Orange 30, Charlottesville 14. King George 34 and Caroline 15. Hopewell 35, Petersburg 14. There's a game that's kind of interesting.
Yes.
Skyline 42, George Mason 22. Strasburg 22, Warren County 21. William Monroe 20, Madison County 14. Central Woodstock 35, Brentsville 0. And, of course, the one that we had last week, Chancellor, defeating James Monroe 36-29. How about tonight's games, Herman?
Tonight's games, it's Eastern View hosting Spotsylvania tonight. Cortland at Chancellor. It's George Mason at Brentsville. Essex at T.J. Tucker, Richmond. And Warren County at Clark County. And the Stafford and North Stafford game being played tonight is going to be played at Brook Point on a carpet. Riverbend and Massaponax, Brook Point at Colonial Forge at Mountain View. So they're switching games around, Bob, because of the wet conditions, and go to some of these schools that have that artificial surface. Colonial Heights at Petersburg, Skyline at Strasburg, and of course the King George Foxes hosting the James Monroe Yellow Jackets tonight for homecoming. So a full slate of action taking place around the area. And next Friday night the Yellow Jackets will be off. That's the night hopefully we can have a nice dinner somewhere.
Yeah, right. Been waiting all season.
That's right. We love a bye. So 14-7 our score. It's James Monroe, and right now King George High School Marching Band getting ready to perform for pretty much a capacity crowd here, Bob. Big crowd on here tonight. Homecoming here at King George High School. Welcome back to King George, Virginia, home of the King George Foxes. We begin getting ready for the start of the second half. 14-7, James Monroe. And Bob, great halftime show by the King George Marching Band.
I tell you what, they're about as good as it gets for high school.
Yes.
I've seen quite a few. I used to help with the
judging and announcing.
I did, and I got to see some really, really good marching bands. King George is right up there with them.
And it's something that we don't see a lot of, because normally we're talking during the halftime, but we were able to sit and watch the King George Band tonight, and they did a great job on homecoming. They had the crowning of the King, Queen, Princess. Did I get that right?
King, Queen, Prince, and Princess.
I had it out there wrong. I had the King and the Princess.
Okay. Whatever. I mean, these days, you just got to line them up as they come.
That's right.
All right.
We got to be politically correct, though, when we talk about stuff like that.
There you go.
So we're getting set for the start of the second half. Yellow Jackets won the toss. King George won the toss to open up the football game. They deferred, and now the Yellow Jackets are kicking off to King George. So we're set for high school football action. Second half action, Yellow Jackets leading by 7. Here's your kick. Hits a vacated area, picked up at the 20, up the middle, out across the 30, and it's got to be pushed back. On that aggressive coverage, Bob, by the Yellow Jackets on that kickoff, certainly hope that's an indication of how aggressive they're going to be here in the second half.
Right. Yeah, don't use up all your fuel in the first play there, but
save a little.
Yeah, and so maybe they are fired up.
So first and 10, they got to stop this running game by the Foxes, this wing T formation. So the Foxes with a first and 10 at their 32-yard line. Quarterback under center, turns, hands it off, and a missed tackle into the secondary, spinning out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Gain of about 12 yards on that hard run off tackle on the right side. And it was a player, Bob, who had a chance to make the tackle, but he missed it.
Yeah, it's always a shame because, if you get them in the backfield, that's always good. But
could have been a no gain or loss of yards on that play, but the Yellow Jackets end up giving up about 12 yards. First and 10 for King George at their 46-yard line. Man in motion. A run right into number 57 for the Yellow Jackets. Jonathan Washington with the stop. Wrapped him up for minimal gain on that first down run, setting up a second and 9. I'm sorry, Bob.
No, I was just going to say I saw Reynolds in there on that play,
yes.
And I think he almost grabbed the mask, but held off. Good for you, Dave.
Second and 9 facing the Foxes at their 46-yard line. Wing formation, quarterback throws a pass in the middle. It's going to be picked off. Over to Brandon Woolridge on a return. Could be a pick 6. Cuts it back to the inside. He's going to score 10-5 into the end zone. Wow. Woolridge with about a 65-yard pick 6 interception return. Boy, you talking about breaking on the football. That ball was in the air a long time, and Woolridge just stepped right into that passing lane, Bob, and raced it back in from about 65 yards out.
Wow, what a nice run.
Yes.
He can carry a ball.
So that's pretty much what we ordered, Bob. We didn't want King George to score, but the Yellow Jackets really did a great job. Here's your snap. The kick hits up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 10:41, and we'll talk about that when we return. 21-7 JM back after this. Welcome back to King George. It's Bob and Herman K tonight. Not Friday, next Friday night. You can catch up with us in one of the restaurants
That's right.
around Fredericksburg.
We'll see you in one of the local places.
That's right. And we thank you for listening on Cox Channel 83 and Verizon Channel 41 and World Wide Web. It's regionalwebtv.com. Yellow Jackets, after that 65-yard touchdown return, interception return. Yellow Jackets kicking off, short kick, angled, and he makes the catch and goes down to his knees, and that's where King George will start.
In the air by number 3, Matthew Redkay.
Yeah, now that the Jackets have a little bit of a cushion, I'd like to see them step up and plug some of those holes.
Yeah, play loose now.
Yeah.
Once you got the lead, just play loose, gamble a little bit, have fun, and not take this thing too seriously.
Yeah, I see Mr. Woolridge out there. He looks like he's still walking okay.
He's a safety back there playing center field. Has great range. And he's saying, King George, I dare you to put it in the air again. They're going to keep it on the ground. Good game tackling by the Yellow Jackets. Number 22, Parker Hildebrand in on the stop.
Yeah, Jackets come on, let's get in their backfield a little bit.
So 21-7 outscore. Second down and 5 yards to go for King George at their 34-yard line. Bob, I don't like this when every play comes in from the bench like that. Do you?
Not at all.
Slows the game down.
It really does, yep.
Second and we'll say 5 yards to go. Handoff, run, up the middle, out across the 40. King George first down. They've got a good running game.
They do, and they have at least 3 or 4 more first downs than the Jackets.
Yes. So first down for the Foxes at their 41-yard line. Time for turnover for the Yellow Jackets. Foxes. And a nice hit in the backfield.
Good job.
Great
Good job.
penetration. Is that number 8 for the Yellow Jackets? Jack Hardy coming up with the wrap-up tackle.
And Jack got the message in the backfield, Jack.
Yes. So loss of 2 yards. Second, 12 yards to go for King George. 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. Certainly glad to have you along tonight. Foxes, Yellow Jackets, old rivalry.
Old.
Yep. Quarterback, handoff, and nice tackle on the far side. Pick up of 4 yards, but well shy of picking up the first down. So it's going to be third down and long facing the King George Foxes. Got to put pressure on the quarterback here, Bob, because it will be a passing down. And you don't want to give this quarterback any time to stand back there and throw the football.
Yeah, let's see what kind of rush the Jackets get to be.
So you got 2 receivers to the near side. Yellow Jackets need somebody else out here. And that was movement, but no call. And that one was nearly picked off through the hands of the intended receiver. That was Zion White, Bob.
Yeah, and Aiden Ryan beating the turf.
Yep.
He almost had his hands on that.
He had a chance to pick that one off. Kind of short hopped it. Falls incomplete, stopping the clock at 8:18 to go. Fourth down, punting down here for King George. Punter standing back at his 30-yard line. We need a good return here by the Yellow Jackets.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. 2 return men back for James Monroe. Ryan is 1. Punter kind of angles in and tries to kick it away from Ryan. And it takes a King George bounce. Fielded at the 32 and down at the 32-yard line.
Down at the 32-yard line.
I think if he'd have left that alone, and probably would have gotten a couple more yards out of it.
A little anxious to jump on it, wasn't he?
He was, and I just want this play to end, okay?
Yeah. Wonder if the cameras are running in the stands. Kids don't think about that stuff. I did when I played.
Yeah, where are they?
Wonder who has that Kodak camera out taking pictures.
Exactly.
1st and 10 to go for James Monroe. Zach feeds it off to Curry. Curry runs into his own man. That was nearly a spearing call there against. He led with his head on that tackle, but did not connect, so he avoids the penalty.
Hey, gotta watch that now. They're down by 2 touchdowns, and I hope things don't go cheap on us here.
And I thought you were also talking about you got to watch those head collisions because everybody's concerned about concussions now.
Oh yeah.
2nd, 6 yards to go. Pitch. Curry around the right side, cuts it up in there, out across the down marker, across the first down marker, picks up, dives ahead for the first down.
That's the Curry we know.
And you know what? I like that play, Bob, because it gets him out in space.
Right. And he's been pretty good at shifting.
So that was a little sweep where quarterback Zach pitched it out to Curry. Had some room out there to maneuver and picked up the first down. 4 wideouts for James Monroe. Zach Davis, quarterback. And again, he fakes the handoff. That's Zach. And Zach is going to be hit hard and pushed back, but not until he picked up 4 yards on that run.
Yeah, he gave a good fake to Curry that time.
Yeah.
And
put it right in the bread basket and pulled it out.
Right out.
Shades of Bob Blackburn.
He's only about a foot taller than I am.
I can see you in Horace Green in that backfield now.
Oh, the good old days. What?
2nd down and 7 yards to go for James Monroe. And a fake and a nice run. You got to cut it back inside, and he does.
Was that a flag I saw?
Don't think so.
No, I don't think so either, no.
And that's going to be a good run by Curry. And enough for a JM first down. I was up here moving in the box, Bob, because I could feel that block coming on.
Yeah, right.
That's scary.
Yeah. Well, you know, with all these games where the movement is reflected on the TV.
Well, we know it's time to retire when you started getting scared in the press box.
There you go.
1st and 10 for James Monroe. Nice run up the middle. Nice cut by Curry, picking his way through the middle of that King George defense. Down inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. A little bit shy of picking up the first down.
So good to see that running game back.
Sorry, Bob. They did pick it up.
We got into the shiny part of the field there.
That's right. So 1st down for James Monroe at the King George 32-yard line. Zach Davis, the senior, handoff to Curry. They're feeding him down. He's running tough and hard down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Injured King George player down.
Ouch. Yeah, he's down, face down.
When you find success like that, Bob, and you got a running back and an offensive line that's working together, I mean, it's like poetry.
Yeah, I've seen some great runs.
Yes.
Curry has done a job. He really has. I would be surprised if he isn't a little bit tired.
Yeah, they're taking him out now. And it looked like he injured an arm or something.
Maybe a little rug burn or something.
Yeah. So he seems to be in some pain. Tammy Clark, the trainer, looking at him. Meanwhile, King George player is up. Well-deserved hand from the partisan crowd.
Yeah, he's walking okay, so that's a good sign.
So he's coming off. They weren't the two that collided, were they?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm looking for number 25 for JM over on the sidelines, and I don't see him, so maybe he's okay too.
Yellow Jackets left hash mark. 2nd and a yard to go. And that's going to be Zach. Has the first down and more. Down inside the 10-yard line. Pushed out of bounds at the King George 9-yard line. Flag on the play. Might be a holding call. Number 57 with his outstretched arms. I don't think he... That's a dead giveaway when you hold your arms out.
You don't do that. You don't pull a penguin off.
That's right. Who, me?
Yeah, right. I'm as innocent as the day I was born.
It wasn't me, Coach. Penalty against the Yellow Jacket, pushing the ball back out to the 33-yard line. It's 2nd and 11 yards to go for James Monroe. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Yellow Jackets on a run. That's going to be Fauntleroy, number 21. Jawan Fauntleroy, 6-footer, 158 junior, Bob.
Yeah, he has had some good runs. I guess he's in for Curry, and I'm still wondering about where Curry is.
Look on that far bench behind the players. That's where Tammy Clark was tending to. 3rd and 11. Zach, you got to put it in the air here. Great drive here on the ground by the Yellow Jackets. 3rd and 11 yards to go. Zach looking back. 5-step drop. Steps up. Gonna run. Puts a fake on a guy. Spins. Dives forward down to the 25-yard line. Did a good job, Bob, to get back, didn't it?
Yeah, he did. When you see a guy that's 6'6" and he's a quarterback cutting back like that, you think, oh, nice.
Kind of agile for a big, tall guy.
He is. Had some good runs tonight.
It was. 4th down and 3 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. Trips to the near side of the field. Passing formation here for the Yellow Jackets. And you got to get set. He moved, but so that's...
I think Zach
reaching out. Let's see the spot here. This referee is running in where his knee touched, but he stretched it out. So it's going to be short. King George with a first down.
Okay, that I could have sworn he got that, but
I did too, Bob. So that's pretty good for us tonight. We have not made one complaint with the officials, have we?
And no,
spotless.
No, it's still early. And
that's right. Still got the whole 4th quarter to go too.
They seem to be pretty even-minded.
Yes,
here, so that's good.
They've done a great job. And when they do, we will tell you that. When they don't, we will still tell you that. 1st and 10 for King George at their 22-yard line. Fox is keeping it on the ground. Little counter inside. The Yellow Jackets stay home and clogged up the hole. Maybe a minimal gain on that play.
Yeah, I have to say in the second half here, the D has
gotten better.
Yeah, gotten better.
Yep. 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Foxes, getting all of their plays called on the sideline. So if it doesn't work, fans can point to one person, the coach. 2nd and 10, run.
Got to get out there, guys. There we go.
And good play. They strung that out, Bob.
Yeah, I thought he had an angle there for a minute.
Yeah.
It looks like JM closed pretty quickly.
The Yellow Jackets defensively playing much better here in this second half. Fox is not getting those huge holes that they got in the first half. And right now it's a 3rd down and 9 yards to go with the ball at the King George 24-yard line. Put some pressure on the other blitz linebackers here. Make him throw this football. He's going to throw here on 3rd down, so I wouldn't even play run. Quarterback dropping back to
right.
throw the football, being pressured. Now he's going to run it and knocked out of bounds at about the 28, 29 yard line. So going to be short of picking up the first down. No flags on the play.
Yeah, the JM tackler took the pins right out from under.
Yeah, he did. Great open field tackle. So the Yellow Jackets hold defensively and forcing King George to punt here. 4th and about 6 yards to go with 2:21 remaining.
Wow, that punter is way back there.
He is, isn't he?
That's going to be a heck of a snap. Come on, buddy.
It's going to be a low snap. Watch.
Let's see. You're probably right.
Some confusion by King George. Actually was high.
Yep.
Punter gets off a good punt and a fair catch. Can't get up and run it, son. Darrell Gibson with the fair catch for the Yellow Jackets. This guy thought he was in the pros.
Yeah, right.
Good fair catch there. A little tricky because that ball was twisting around. Flag on the play. False start against the Foxes. Would you make them kick it again?
I would.
Illegal procedure penalty against King George.
So now they're talking with the captain out there for the Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets going to decline the penalty and take the play.
Yeah, I always like to see things happen.
You want to see the replay?
Yeah, I couldn't believe they had the punter back there so far.
He was back. So 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at their 43-yard line. 2:14 remaining in this third quarter. 21-7 James Monroe. 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. Curry alongside the quarterback Davis. Davis changing the play. Gets the snap. 3-step drop. Passes over the middle. And it's going to be a drop pass.
Oh.
Curry won. You know the problem with that, Bob?
What's that? It took too long to get there.
It took too long to get there. Plus, he was so anxious to catch the ball because he was wide open.
He was.
He wanted to run before he actually made the catch. We forgive you for that one. You better not do it again.
Well thrown ball, but
Yes.
didn't have much mustard on it, so he was waiting there for it. And
He had to wait a long time for it.
yeah, he did.
2nd and 10 yards to go. 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets, and they keep it on the ground. That's number 25 with a nice juke step down into King George territory. Oh, that's about a 15-yard gallop by number 25. Well, he's curious. He's back and he's okay.
He's back, yeah, and that's a good thing. I tell you what, he's got some moves in the open field.
And you got to get him in the space. You got to pitch it to him and let him get to the outside.
Right. Yeah, give him a little.
Kind of hard for him to run in between the trees down inside on that defensive line. Here we go. 1st and 10. 4 wideouts. Yellow Jackets keeping it on the ground. That's going to be a little change of pace there. Number 21, Fauntleroy on the carry. Juwan Fauntleroy.
He made a couple moves. Good job.
They've got speed back there. The problem is you got to get these guys out where they can use their speed and moves.
Yeah, and it looks like they're making plays out here.
Yeah. Number 12 going out for the Yellow Jackets, Mac Holland. You got number 7 on the far side. It's Aiden Ryan. This is the guy you got to watch. Yellow Jackets 2nd and 7. And that's going to be Zach Davis calling his number. And he's going to be pushed back. No gain.
Couldn't sell that fake.
No. Well, they've run that play about 4 times. And you would think by now the Foxes might be catching on to it.
Cagey Foxes.
Yep. 25 coming in. Fauntleroy going out. It's Curry in. 3rd down. And let's say 8 yards to go, Bob. 38 seconds left in this third quarter. 21-7 James Monroe. 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. Zach Davis with a draw play up the middle, and Curry tied up down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Well, we've got a situation here, Bob, where it's 4th down. You got to go for it.
Yeah, what's it got? 4th and 3.
Yellow Jackets walking off because time will run out here in this 3rd quarter. Yellow Jackets up 21-7 to end the 3rd quarter. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. I had to wait a little bit, Bob. I'm chewing on a cough drop.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
A little bit stuffed up.
Yeah, this is that time of year.
4th and 3 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. Pitch, run, and he's got the first down. Stiff arm down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Great call. You got to get these scat backs, these guys with the speed, got to get them to the outside and let them hit that edge, Bob.
Yeah, Curry's on fire tonight. I just love the way he's running tonight.
So the Yellow Jackets pick up the much-needed first down there to keep this drive alive. As we begin the 4th quarter play here in King George. 2 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near. That's Curry. And nice run, number 9, Zach. He's going to be picked up, and that should be some extra stuff there.
You know, when you're dealing with the quarterback, you got. Of course, he's in the open field, so
he was
like any other runner.
He was picked up in the air, but you know how they not supposed to treat quarterbacks like that.
Right. Yeah, I cringe when I see it.
So that was a first down run by Zach Davis, and 1st and 10 yards to go at the King George 14-yard line. Yellow Jackets trying to bust this thing wide open. 4 wideouts, and that's Fauntleroy on the carry. Not much. Short gain inside. You know what I want to see, Bob? Slant pattern.
Yeah.
Skinny post pattern. Let's see if the offensive coordinator, see if we can kind of sync up here.
Okay, right. Send a little message down.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Zach with the football, tries to do it himself and unable to muster any yards. Loss of a couple of yards. Kind of important here, Bob, for the Yellow Jackets to score.
Yeah.
And that, you know, with a score here, that might zap them of all their spirit. Talking about King George.
Yeah, so on a 3rd down and 13, it's got to be a pass.
Yes.
Right. Here we go.
Trips to the near side of the field. Zach Davis gets it and throws his isolated slant pattern down near the 5-yard line.
Wow, that's going to be mark that.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit shy of picking up the first down. So got a 4th down here. Do you go for the field goal, or do you try to pick up? You know what I'd do?
What's that?
I'd go for the. No, it's about 2 long yards, so I'd go for the field goal. And the Yellow Jackets taking a timeout here.
Yeah, where they marked it, I thought it was much closer, but it looks like it's it's almost 3 yards.
Almost 3 yards. Next week's games: Massaponax at Colonial Forge, Riverbend hosting Stafford, Mountain View at Brook Point, Orange at Albemarle, Spotsylvania playing host to the Caroline Cavaliers, Easton View at Chancellor, King George at Cortland, Charlottesville making a trip up to Fluvanna to take on the Flying Flukos. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Brentsville at Warren County, Skyline hosting Culpeper, and Petersburg at Prince George. And the Yellow Jackets have a Friday night off.
Bye-bye.
That means, do we come to work anyway if they don't have a game? Are we required by the law to be when they don't play? Do we?
You haven't read your contract? Come on.
I think it says stay home, I think.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
All right, here we go. Big play here for the Yellow Jackets. They're going to go for it, Bob, on 4th down, 4th and a long, 2 yards to go at the King George Yellow Jackets move.
Gonna hurt. Yeah, it's going to hurt.
Yep. That player will remain nameless.
And, you know, part of it was the Cadence trying to pull them off.
Yeah, yes.
So.
That's what they were trying to do, Bob.
Yeah.
And it backfired.
It pulled us off. Okay, we're going to do a field goal, Herman. Looks like to me.
20 yards to make it 30-yard field or 29-yard field goal here. 29-yard field goal from the left half mark. High snap. The kick is up. It's partially blocked. Yellow Jackets get the football.
I was laughing at
Tommy. He wants to fire this crowd up.
So he gets paid PA announcing fee, cheerleading fee, leading the crowd to cheers.
Well, at least he's getting some fees anyway.
Right. Yeah, in education, what we call them stipends, right?
Yeah, stipends, right. Yeah.
So block field goal for the Foxes. That should be a momentum builder there, Bob. But they're in a passing situation now. The quarterback rolling with the football, looking, got to square up, and he dumps it off with a nice gain out across the 25 to about the 29-yard line. They did everything they could to that receiver.
Yeah, no kidding. Took his wallet and ran away.
We just witnessed a robbery on the field.
Mugging.
We should be getting our subpoenas by Monday. 1st and 10 for King George at their 29-yard line. And 4 wideouts here. They've changed their formation. And was it picked off? No, nearly picked off. Out there defending on the play was Jack Hardy, Bob.
Yeah, the King George is suddenly changing their strategy to a passing game here. So.
Well, they trailed 21-7. They need some points with 8:56 to go in this 4th quarter. In a running game, they can't get it quick enough, so thus they resulted to a passing game here. So you got 2 wideouts to the far side of the field, 1 to the near. Quarterback from the gun formation rolling to his right, stops, plants, fires a pass off the fingertips of a receiver. Now they help him up. Some of the players on the JM side could have, what do they call it? You break their fall.
Oh, yeah.
They let this guy go right through over there. Finally, somebody went over and picked him up. That's what you call great sportsmanship delayed.
Yeah, delayed. Oh, we better help him up.
That's right. So incomplete pass setting up a 3rd down and 10 for the Foxes at their 29-yard line. 4 wideouts. And the quarterback dropping back, steps up, throws a pass. And it's going to be picked off. Brandon Woolridge, center fielder back there. And that's what you're supposed to do as a safety ball.
Yep. That's why they call him the safety.
That's right.
That's his second interception tonight. Good job.
And remember early, he had a pick six.
Yeah,
65 yard. So Woolridge having a great game tonight defensively. Second pick off. That stops any chance of King George trying to get back into this football game. Let's go up top with a deep pass. What do you think, Bud?
I say, yeah.
Well, I love it when we think alike, which is quite often.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be a catch. Out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Turner White with the reception.
We've been watching James Monroe football for so long. You know, they've been doing these spectacular plays for so long.
Yes. We have been fortunate enough to witness some great athletes coming out of. And not only have we seen great athletes for James Monroe, but when we get to the playoffs, we see other teams with great athletes. Nice run up the middle, almost broke it for a long touchdown run into King George territory. Curry on the carry. Boy, he exploded.
He's on fire tonight. He's on fire. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have 100 yards already.
Look here, the Yellow Jackets going with a hurry up here now, Bob. Trying to catch him off guard. You got to set to chain. 1st and 10 for James Monroe. Zach Davis, the quarterback. Handoff. That's going to be number 25, Curry on the carry. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Come on, I don't want to see him run him off guard or tackle.
No.
Get him to the outside. Pitch, sweep, jet sweep, anything.
Give him a little running room. Yep.
We'll just announce the game. I'm retiring from coaching.
You can't help it. You know, you see every game, every play, so you
in 30 years, there's a little bit of knowledge up there.
Exactly.
2nd and 10 yards to go, Zach. And again, a reception that could have been made. These receivers want to run so much, Bob. They run before they catch it. That falls incomplete. Stopping the clock. 7:20 to go. Homecoming here tonight at King George High School. Big festivities. That means the homecoming dance tomorrow night, right?
I would think. Yeah. Yep.
3rd and 10 yards to go. Zach Davis, 4 wideouts. Watch the ball go deep. Zach is looking, flushed out of the pocket, is going to run it. And got a flag coming out, maybe a holding call.
Something happened in the backfield there, yeah.
With the initial call, I think it's going to be against the Yellow Jacket. I saw something quite funny just a minute ago. It was a JM lineman who, right big fella, he made a block on a much smaller guy, and he was like pinning him like in a wrestling match.
Get him down, lay on him.
That was funny. Yeah. And his little guy was like struggling to get up.
Get off me, man.
You're hurting me. So the holding call against the Yellow Jackets. Still going to be, what, third down?
Yeah.
Boy, that was more than 15 yards, wasn't it?
Were there 2 penalties? Something looked.
3rd and 23. Bob, I'm going to go out on a limb and say they picked this up.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they score.
You think so? That's a good bet.
Well, that's a lot of yardage to get, so we might as well go ahead and get the rest of it.
Reverse.
Yeah.
And that's number 7 on the carry. Cuts it back inside, out near midfield. I like that call.
Yeah, it's designed to use up a lot of time, which is good.
Aiden Ryan on the carry. Slow double reverse in the backfield. And the Foxes came up and defensed it well. Both teams coming into tonight's game with identical records, 1-4. Big game for the Yellow Jackets as well as for King George.
Yeah.
4th and about 18 yards to go. Punter standing at his 35. Takes his time, gets off a nice high punt. And it takes the JM bounce, picked up on a return out to about the 19-yard line.
Yeah, that was a smart move.
6 minutes remaining in this football game. 21-7, James Monroe. Been an entertaining football game, but up to this point, King George seemed to be running out of gas, Bob.
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, they had a great running game going, and now that they're in a passing situation, it's going to be rough for them.
1st and 10 for the Foxes quarterback, swing pass. And a nice cut back inside, picks up some good yards out across the 20 to about the 23-yard line.
That's the same play we saw when the guy went deep like that, and if he misses that pass, it's a fumble.
That's right. Yeah, because it's a swing pass, but it's a lateral pass, so that ball is live.
Pretty dangerous to call in your own territory, too.
Yeah. So things a little slow here tonight, so the fans are doing the wave, aren't they? Another pass and a catch out near the 30. That's about a yard past the first down marker, so they move the chain.
They're going without a huddle now.
Yep, and they're still looking to the bench for those plays, taking up a lot of time. 5:10 and counting down here in the 4th quarter. The Yellow Jackets in their prevent, looking to throw the football. Man sets down about 7-8 yards out. And Aiden Ryan.
Ride him, Cowboy.
Yes, sir. Boy, a little bulldog in there.
Yeah.
So I'll pick up a nice gain on 1st down. So 2nd and 2. 4:39 to go in this football game. The Yellow Jackets just trying to hold on here. Foxes with their passing game. They've abandoned their running game. And that's going to be enough. Keep him inbound.
Yeah, keep him inbound.
You see the clock. They're going to. Clock's still running. As they move the chain, then they'll restart it, Bob.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10. Clock has not started yet. I don't know why. Now it's going. 1st and 10 at the King George 41-yard line. Quarterback looking to throw, rifles a pass across the middle. Nice crossing pattern into JM territory, down to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, their passing game isn't shabby.
Nope. Looks pretty good. But something they don't do that much, Bob. You know, they're basically a running team, but now they're forced to throw the football. Quarterback looking again, pump, steps up, gonna run. And he runs out of bounds, stopping the clock. Inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line in JM territory. Quarterback is doing what he's asked to do, Bob. He's moving the team. We're talking about DeGrande, Sammy DeGrande. He's a senior, 6'2", 175 pounds. 2nd and about 2 yards to go for DeGrande and his offense. Gets a snap, dropping back, plants, steps up, and he's going to be pulled down Strong arm. That's Jonathan Washington with the.
The result of the run is going to be first down.
He almost took his jersey off of me. So the Foxes get a first down here. Time is certainly not on their side. Under 4 minutes remaining in this football game. 1st and 10. The Grande. And did he make the catch? Yes. That was a great job with that catch ball.
Yeah, that's the old Raymond Berry.
Raymond Berry. Getting both feet inbounds. That's Zion White with the reception. So 2nd and a yard to go for King George. 4 wideouts. Quarterback to Grande. Pass across the middle, going to be tipped and picked off by the Yellow Jackets. Here we go on a return. Nobody out there. It's a foot race. Midfield, 40, 30. Here comes the flag. I don't think that was a bad block at all. Flag was thrown. It was a block on the far side. It was more to the side and not from behind. That play should have.
Yeah, that would have been an exciting play. That was the second pick 6, but it's not going to come. It's going to come back.
Yep, it was a tip pass right into the hands of a JM defender back there. On return, they had a convoy set up on the far sidebar, and it was a block I thought was legal. The referee threw the flag, and thus it's coming back.
Yeah. Might be a grill over in the corner, but
from the spot of the foul, the infraction, going to push the ball back to midfield where the Yellow Jackets will have it 1st and 10 with 3:26 to go in this football game. And right now you're going to get heavy doses of a running game.
Yeah, and of course I'd like to see one cork along with it, then go to the running game. But
once a quarterback, always a quarterback. Thinks about the bomb in his sleep.
Yeah, but wouldn't 7 points be as good as eating up the clock? Right? Oh man.
Bob, I bet you'd come out on first down.
Yeah.
Licking your fingers, let's go deep.
Oh, yeah, right. Everybody going, what?
1st and 10 yards to go. Zach Davis on the carry. Flag coming out. And he goes down. Another flag coming out. They're going to be offsetting, I think. Got laundry all over the field.
Yeah.
If
1, 2, 3 flags, I see.
It was offsetting. They'll replay it down. Holding James Monroe. Well, everybody saw that one. So it's not offsetting.
No. So everybody, it must have been a pretty prominent hold.
That must have been a bear hug. So you had 3 officials that threw the flag. And believe it or not, Bob, you had 3 officials to flag that holder. We didn't see it.
Yeah,
which is not strange, but we're getting up in age a little bit.
You're still the eagle eye. I tell you one thing, I get messed up on the fakes.
Draw play. Nice play out to about the 48-yard line. 3:06 to go.
Got back most of the penalty, but not quite.
Yeah. So it's setting up a 2nd down. 11 yards to go, 2:53 and counting down here in this 4th quarter. 21-7, James Monroe. The Yellow Jackets trying to secure a win here on the road. Break that 3-game losing streak. Nice slip. Aiden Ryan.
Oh, he's got a first down, Herman.
This kid is an athlete. He was hit initially about 3-4 yards shy of that first down. He broke away and picked up 5 additional yards.
Nice job. Nice job.
So Ryan with the reception. Yellow Jackets still putting it in the air a little bit, Bob, with 2.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again.
Yeah. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Trips to the near side of the field. And that's going to be Fauntleroy's hot stepping it through the middle of that King George defensive front. The Yellow Jackets have played well tonight.
Yeah, relatively mistake-free, but then when they made mistakes, they made up for them.
And they've stopped this running game by King George tonight. I mean, if this thing holds up where they've only given up 7 points, great job defensively.
Yep.
2nd and 8, rifle pass, and that's Woolridge with the reception.
And the first down.
Yeah. It's going to be, let's see. They moved the chain. Methodical drive here by the Yellow Jackets, where they seem to be controlled in what they're doing.
Yeah, short passes are as good or better than the run.
Yep. So 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at the King George 26-yard line. Minute 30 remaining. Will the Yellow Jackets get one here? 4 wideouts, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Zach Davis taking his time. Minute 19 to go. Gets the snap. And he's going to run the football up the middle. Both hands on the football. Driving hard down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Another JM first down.
Yeah, he's right up there with the rushers today.
Yeah. Seen him rush more tonight than we have in 5 previous games.
Yeah. And he's not a bad runner.
No. So, Yellow Jackets taking a time here. Letting time run off the clock. 1 minute remaining in this football game. They're not in a hurry here.
No, I
don't think they want to score either.
Yeah, I think they would even take a delay. Yeah, right. They might even take a delay of game here.
Here we go. 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. Now we're getting a delay of game against the Yellow Jackets. Took a little bit too much time.
Yeah.
So that's going to stop the clock at 38 seconds to go. 5-yard penalty back to the 20-yard line. Would you score, Bob?
I tried to.
My buddy.
Oh, hey, all right.
So the Yellow Jackets might take a knee here. Let's see. Everybody's bunched in there. Quarterback Zach will take a knee. Classy move for them. We still would have gone up top, right?
The game's not over. What do you got? Some more time? Come on.
Come on, it's 20 seconds. Don't get.
This is an important win for James Monroe.
Yes.
Come on the road and make some good stops on D and score some touchdowns.
7 seconds to go. That was the final play of the game tonight, and congratulations to the JM football program and team. They snapped the losing streak here tonight by defeating the King George Foxes in a well-played football game, 21-7. We got some final comments coming up after this timeout. Welcome back to King George High School. Homecoming, a sad one for the Foxes tonight. Yellow Jackets up in the King George Foxes by the score of 21-7. And here's Bob Blackburn with a recap of all the scoring in tonight's football game.
They only had one quarter tonight where there was more than one score, and James Monroe scored first, and so far this season, that's good for them. Anyway, it's 6:49 of the first quarter. JM scored on a 3-yard touchdown pass from Davis to White, and the point after was good. They took a 7-0 lead. King George came back and tied it up at 2:43 going with Javon Campbell. It scored on a 26-yard TD pass. Point after was good for them. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. JM came back and scored the only score of the second quarter at 8:16. Davis scored on a 2-yard plunge. Point after was good, and James Monroe put one more on the board in the third quarter, and that was at 10:41 with a 65-yard interception by Woolridge. The run back was beautiful, and the point after was good. James Monroe took a 21-7 lead, and that ended up being the final score. James Monroe